Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Trough. For your health and safety this evening, the fire escapes are the door that you came in and the one marked fire exit, which I'm indicating on my left. In the unlikely event the place catches fire, please leave through one of the aforementioned apertures in an orderly manner. Do not stop to pick up your belongings and step over the drunks who may be laying on the floor.
You know, it's a really sad note to start on, but, you know, about a year ago, our mate and musician friend from way back, before 81, Fred Robson, you know, sadly died very suddenly. So Len and I were talking about, you know, some of the recordings I had in the cupboard, which were actually made from a microphone hanging from the ceiling here, you know, onto cassette tapes years ago. And we kind of put them together as a bit of a tribute to Fred and to try and recreate the atmosphere that Fred helped us create. And he was a leader in the pygmosphere kind of element of the Trough, I think.
So we've always been trying to get him together to lay down some recorded tracks. And,
Well, the last
we
one.
never got around to it, did we? Oh.
Why did you choose the name The Fighting Pig Band?
It's a kind of historic thing that came out from we used to practice in the town hall on Sunday afternoons, and I really just don't remember how it came up.
No.
There was some discussion about pigs or something, and somebody must have said something like "Don't fight a pig" or something, and we used to call Fred Porky.
Yes,
You know, all those years ago,
that's right, yeah,
you know,
years ago.
we loved him to bits. He'd turn up. We called him Porky.
Among the many memories that the remaining Fighting Pig Band could share, they recalled Fred's magnetism with the ladies, particularly for the song Mustang Sally, where the girls would flock towards him due to his performance prowess. He was known for telling people who requested songs that he was not a karaoke machine, a talented musician capable of playing lead and rhythm simultaneously. What would you guys say the pygmosphere is? How could you describe it?
We loved audience participation, and nothing better when people were singing back at us and just involving people. And it was raw, it was full of lumps and bumps sometimes, but it was the atmosphere created by that rawness of the music and openness, banter between the band and the audience. And we were trying to capture that in this hall here where we're sitting now, where many a good night has passed. And as Pete said, Fred was the driving force. He played lead, but he also played fill, as well as that. So he played a lot. His participation was total in it. And of course, he was so skilled that he could sing excellent vocals and play all this stuff as well. So when he moved on, it was he took with the engine room, if you like.
I think he led us astray musically.
Yes. Yes, occasionally.
Sheer Pygmosphere holds live recordings of the band at the height of Pygmosphere from their numerous performances at the Trough. As Pete described, the album shows the pigs, snorts, warts and all. The last track of the album, Down and Nearly Out, was a philosophical view of life from Fred, mixed with the memories of his mischievous youth.
Walking along in the middle of the pouring rain.
Fred wrote that kind of one song himself, and you put that as the last track on the album. What meaning can you read from that song?
Fred, in his kind of mischievous way, standing at the bar there one night before we kind of got round to doing some music, said he'd written this song and he showed us the lyrics and stuff. And we said, "What's this about milk bottles?" And he said, "Well, me and my mates going home from college in Exeter all those years ago, we used to get a bit dry on the way home, so we used to nick milk off people's doorsteps to get us home." Actually, funnily enough, I was in Swindon recently, West Swindon, and in the local paper there was a piece there saying, "Milk is disappearing off doorsteps." It had nothing to do with me, but I just, you know, it was kind of spooky. I'm in West Swindon picking up the Piggy CD, and here's these guys going around nicking milk.
The band have played in many locations in the Falklands, including atop of Mount Kent and Mount Allison, as well as internationally. One particular fond memory was from November 1996, when the band played in Santiago's 30-degree heat.
We had this shade on us. Fred couldn't fit on the stage because there wasn't enough room. There was under the thingy, so he just stood to the side. and he stood there in the sun and got overheated a bit, but played fantastic music. And we played during the lunch hour, and we had all these people who were out eating their sandwiches coming around dancing. And all the builders on the side of the building sitting, swinging their feet, sort of shaking and roaring at us. So it was great time.
Fred's arm got progressively redder.
That's right.
I think he could get most of him underneath the kind of parasol thing that the Coca-Cola people put up, but his arm was out. I think it got kind of, I seem to recall it got redder and redder from that, because it was midday sun, you know.
Yeah.
This picture from 1972 depicts the band's earlier days, showing Pete King, Tim Winteringham, and of course Fred Robson. Now more than 30 years since the inception of the Fighting Pig Band, Pete described his fellow musician and friend as a constant factor of the band and a leading light.
I was ever a trooper, and you know, we've all learned over the years to that the show must go on, and Fred was a great proponent of that. No matter what happens, you get somebody who's drunk and falls into the middle of the band, and you know, we don't miss a beat. We just get out of the way of falling mic stands and cymbals and stuff like that, pick people up and put them back up.
Obviously it would be very difficult to kind of carry on and go on to do other performances, but do you ever see yourselves kind of reuniting for another performance at any point?
We've been discussing this one, Pete, haven't we?
More whiskey.
More whiskey, I think, yes. Yeah, there's all kinds of... I guess the answer is we'd love to, somewhere along the line. But there is something about Fred not being there that's going to be difficult to overcome. So whatever we do in the future will be different. It has to be different because the entity that Fred was and the piece of the band that he was won't be there. But yes, we might end up doing something not as prolific as we used to be or whatever, but it would be nice to come back and do some music.
The CD hopes to capture the essence of their performances and in many ways a reminder of the powerful presence the band held. The album immortalises the sound and atmosphere created by the Fighting Pig Band and their lead guitarist, the man who is known as Gerard Robson, known to most as Fred.